The fight was so much better than I expected.
Oleksandr Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
And you know what? Usyk didn't leave him alone.
No, but in power punches, Usyk got 14-7.
Fury is a great boxer, but I just don't think he's got the legs in the engine anymore.
To be fair, he did get banged on the head very hard in the ninth, so we'll give him a bit of benefit of the doubt.
That's why he thinks he won, because he landed a punch in a round.
But the score doesn't matter. Usyk won. Welcome back to BoxCast. It's been an eventful evening, to say the least. Today we're going to be discussing the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship fight and the undercard as well of Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. And I think we're both still recovering from the ups and downs of that event, shall we say.
Yeah,
there was some unexpected moments. Oleksandr Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I need to get the list of the full things, but I believe it's Lineal champion, ring champion, WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, and which one have I missed?
Ring Magazine.
And Ring Magazine as well.
Forget the Lineal, there's no such thing.
Yeah. Well, and he's got the undisputed belt.
Yeah.
So it's like in the top trumps. He's completed every...
well deserved.
Yeah.
What a build-up, what a fight, what an event.
I think you have to give a shout-out to Saudi for the event. It's fantastic.
Apart from the singer at the beginning of the Fury-Usyk fight, because I don't know what the hell that was.
I was trying to forget that Simon. That thing was a bit like...
Jesus Christ. But no, the fight was so much better than I expected.
Yeah.
I was expecting a chess match.
I thought it would be cagier in the first 3, 4, 5 rounds, didn't he? I think.
But Usyk said, at the weigh-in, didn't he, don't be afraid. And
don't worry, I won't leave you alone.
Yeah. And you know what? Usyk didn't leave him alone.
No. Even when he was getting pounded with punches, he never left him alone. He kept coming forward.
It was intriguing. It was back and forth. There was drama.
I think I'm going to give a bit more. I thought Tyson Fury was better than I was expected it to be. I thought it was going to be more one-sided. Obviously, Usyk fanboy, but still,
no,
the
like
way
you
Usyk
say,
fights,
I
thought
I was sat on the fence for a long time with this fight. The question I had was, because I knew Fury is a great boxer. He really, really is a great boxer, and he showed that in part of that fight of how good a boxer he is. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think he's got the legs in the engine anymore. And I thought that his last few fights. Whereas Usyk just seems to get... I've watched a lot of Usyk's fights. He seems to... The only thing he done different, I'd say, in this fight is he won the first couple of rounds, and then he just... It's like he takes 4 or 5 rounds off, studies the person, and then just flicks and goes to town.
Well, he started really fast, isn't it? He got the body shot and the left over the top.
He was landing that left hand at will.
Yeah. For the first couple of rounds.
It was and he was setting him up for it. Fury didn't see it coming most of the time. And and let's not forget the height difference and the reach difference. Usyk did well to land it because he's punching up a hell of a lot. But it's Usyk's footwork. It's just absolutely, and the angles he creates is just, there's just no one like it. And Usyk will always find a way to win.
Yeah, he wasn't going to quit.
You can't teach that.
Even in the middle rounds when he was a bit like, when it was going swinging in Tyson Fury's favour, it wasn't, yeah.
During that middle round, I thought...
You were a bit concerned. I was the only one who was calm. I was like, no, don't worry, Usyk wins.
Yeah, I've watched the fight back twice and I look back and Fury had Usyk hurt a couple of times.
Yeah.
But he couldn't step on it to capitalise.
Yeah.
And
I think people don't appreciate, other than those who've been in with him, like Tony Bellew, how much mental pressure the guy puts on. Because Fury was exhausted in the later rounds.
yeah, I mean, I know.
And you think he wasn't physically because he was still bouncing around. But you can see that the bits where he worked them out in the fourth, fifth, sixth round, that was gone later on. Yeah. And Usyk just seems to get better. And you know, even though he looked knackered himself, he still got stronger in the latter rounds.
Yeah, I mean, Usyk's engine is superb, but I just don't think Fury's got the legs anymore.
Well, you said it before. What did you say? Jelly legs?
Yeah, he's got legs like plasticine.
Yeah, plasticine, that's the words.
I just don't think he's got the legs anymore. And I get it, it's the undisputed fight. You're putting on a main event. But Fury spent more time messing around and then landing a punch and then walking away. What are you doing? Because you landed one punch. And
have you seen his press conference afterwards?
That's why he thinks he won, because he landed a punch in a round. And he was admiring his work too much. And you didn't win the fight.
I'm not sure how you'd be comfortable when the opponent is landing the left hand at will. And not and difference in Fury, Usyk, he was putting a bit into him as well.
Yeah,
whether he's grown into the size.
Usyk's speed and timing makes him a powerful puncher. I don't think he's naturally a powerful puncher, but I think his speed and timing makes him a powerful puncher.
Well, I think his average percentage was landing was 42% or something, which against somebody who's allegedly as good as Fury is, or is as good as Fury is a hell of a accuracy.
But I'd flip that as well and give Fury kudos. I don't think Usyk's ever been it so much in a fight either.
Most people don't get 32% against, 31.7% against him, and Usyk's was 41.8. But yeah,
and James, them middle rounds, I will give Fury praise. Fury boxed punches, his socks off.
So in terms of total punches, first round was close.
That wasn't.
In punches, I'm saying, is 9 out of 37 for Fury, and it was 8 out of 18 for Usyk. So obviously the accuracy. But if you actually break that down, if you don't just look at the punches, it's like the 6 power punches for Usyk, which was the lefts, and 1 for Fury. So realistically, it's Usyk round. Second one, it's the same thing. Fury obviously grew into it a bit, but there's 8 power punches for Usyk. He threw 13. So basically he was landing 62%, near enough. And 4, Fury got through there because he got a couple of the body shots in, started getting a couple of the body shots in. Third round was even, 7-7 in power shots. And that's when Fury started getting into it. Because I had it the other way, actually. Well, my scorecard was, I give the first 3 rounds to Usyk, 4-7 to Fury, and then all the rest to Usyk, as well as the knockdown in the ninth. I think you can argue the case that the 11th or something was, one of those rounds was, you could give either way because it's fairly even. But if you actually look at the punches, it's probably the Mexican judge actually got it correct. If you look at from CompuBox, because he had 115, 112, which is about right. It's 7-5 in rounds if you go on punches landed, and the knockdown makes it the extra point, isn't it?
So I gave Usyk rounds 1 and 2, and then I gave Fury 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I don't think 8, 7. Well, the thing is, if you actually look at it, third one should be Fury's round, and 7 should be Usyk's round. It actually flips.
I think I don't know whether I gave the 8.
But I had it the other way around, and then
I had it 115, 112.
Yeah. The 8th was clearly Usyk's round because he's basically outlanded him double the amount of shots, 16 to 8, and 12 power punches to 6. It's when he flipped it at the end of the 7th, didn't he? Because the 7th is actually Usyk won. Because, near the end, he started flipping it. The third round is when Fury started flipping it in his favour. And it's basically even. It's 15 to 12 of them landed, although the power punches were the same. So, so you could give that to Fury and then the 7th. But if you give that to Fury, the 7th should be Usyk's, and then every other one is Usyk's. Because he's basically doubling them, 12 to 6, 18 to 11. 13 to 2 in the 10th round.
Thing is what I got the feeling was people who were watching it live had it quite close, and people who were at the event had it quite close.
How about the scorecard? So we'll go through this in a
But
sec.
people who were watching it on
Official.
telly had it Usyk quite wide. And after watching it back again this morning, and I'm not going to slate the referee, but he gave Fury 22 seconds, I think, to recover.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get the video. I was going to do a timer. We'll put it in on the.
Sure, it's 22 seconds.
We're going to put it in the edit. We'll time
Yeah.
with the iPhone and do a little watch.
Because I
add it in.
think that the referee jumps in like that.
Well, the thing is, how long did he take to jump in? Because basically the man was like plasticine legged.
Yeah,
As
I
your
mean-
phrases.
The ropes did keep Fury up, so it stayed his class as a standing 8 count. And to be fair, just before he jumped in, Usyk could have landed another left hook, which could have stopped it. But in my opinion, if you jump in like that, you should be stopping the fight. But then to jump in, give the 10 count, tell Fury to walk towards you, which he does, then tell him to walk towards you again, then tell Usyk to get back in the corner, then tell Usyk to get back in the corner again, and then the bell saved you. I'm just wondering, does he know that the bell's coming and it stops a decision? Because I think the referee wanted to stop it. That's what I think the referee wanted to stop it, but I think he's clocked. Hold on, there's only 10 seconds left here. I can take that decision away from
him.
me.
Don't
from
have to make the
himself.
decision.
Yeah, and that's why I think he's give.
So he bottled the decision, basically.
Yeah, that's why I think he's give Fury so much time to recover. And something needs to be done about that. I think I've seen it happen a few times now where you get the
Well, it
10
happened in the first Wilder fight. He got too long.
Yeah, if you get knocked down, you get back up. You get the mandatory 8 count, they call it, don't they? Right, walk towards me. Right, fight on. Straight away. Not walk towards me. Are you okay to continue? Are you sure you're okay to continue? Right, you get back to your corner. You get back to that corner. You've got 20, 30 seconds there to recover.
The first bit before he even dealt with Fury, he was basically getting Usyk take the time that he got Usyk to go in the corner.
And
Like the amount of time was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's about 30 seconds, isn't it? 20, 30
and
seconds.
If you watch the referee, he's so close to jumping in. And I think Usyk sees that. And he's going, well,
Well, he either should let him
Are
finish
you going to
it.
jump in or...
He should have either let him finish it or stepped in and just called it off.
I mean, it is what
I
it is.
personally think it's a KO.
Yeah, I think it is.
Ninth round.
And the one thing, I mean, Fury's, we've talked, people have talked about it before, his powers of recovery are astonishing, to be fair.
To be fair to him, yeah, you got to give him respect on he got
Because he only had a
round.
minute to recover from that. And he did recover, to be fair. All right, he wasn't fully recovered.
But he's enough to have enough about him
Yeah, and I'd say...
stop getting knocked out.
We know he's...
Because the 10th round, Usyk did put it on him.
Yeah, I know he's been knocked down in the past, but I don't think he's ever been hurt like he was in
Well, most
that
of the
fight.
time, it's like he's had the one punch where you can say, right, it's like against Wilder, really, it was 1 or 2 punches out of like nowhere, out the blue. This wasn't 1 or 2 punches.
No,
This was a beat down.
What's quite funny is at the weigh-in, Fury said he's going to take Usyk's soul. Fury's soul left his body in that ninth
that
round.
moment.
I'm telling you now, it did. It absolutely left his body. His body just wasn't. He got passed from pillar to post. Literally got bounced round the ring by Usyk.
Yeah, it wasn't a lucky punch. You can't argue anything. It was like boom, 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 all beautiful shots.
It was
to basically get him out of
fantastic.
there.
I mean, I was jumping up and down like an absolute lunatic. It was brilliant. I loved it. And I was worried. I think I said to you before the fight about a controversial draw because a lot of people were saying that. And when I heard split decision, I was like, oh no. But the right man won. Definitely the right man won.
Well, the funny thing is, you look at the scorecards. Even the Mexican guy who's got it correct, he gave the second round to Fury. Like,
Was he Mexican or Canadian? Or Spanish?
Oh, I don't know. It says Hispanic. I don't know exactly where it was.
Yeah, it was Spanish,
Mexican-
Canadian, and American, I think.
Yeah. Or Spanish one, whatever. So Palermo basically Palomo or whatever his name is. You can't read the writing. But he's given the second round as well to Fury. Whereas, everybody's given the first round to Usyk. The Mike Fitzgerald's given the second round to Usyk, which is the correct one. Third one, like I said, could be subjective. But Metcalf's given the third round to Usyk. It's just a ridiculous and hilarious scoring.
Did he actually score on round 9 or 10-8?
Yeah, I was just checking. 9 is 8-10, 8-10, 8-10. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And then they're given the last ones, but they've all given the last round to Fury. Yeah. And I would have said the 11th is the one that Fury's closer.
I can see that in the 12th, it was a close round.
It was a close round.
Let's just have a quick look at that. Yeah, the 12th was a close round, but...
See, we say that, but...
No, Fury had it for me.
But in power punches, Usyk got 14-7.
Yeah, but I think...
And 18/10.
Yeah, no, I think Fury...
The 11th was the close round. And even that realistically is still Usyk's. But that was the close one. The 8th, 9th, 10th... 8th, 9th, 10th and the 12th weren't really that close. The 11th is where Fury did get a few shots in, and his actual percentage of power punches and stuff is equal. But Usyk just landed more.
Yeah, you see, they give Usyk the round 8, which I did.
Yeah, eighth is clearly Usyk's round. 8th, 9th, and 10th are clearly Usyk's round.
I mean,
it's not that bad.
At the end of the day, like you say,
some of them are subjective.
I had scored 115, 112. Usyk won.
Yeah, that's what I had. And
even the people who are on the Usyk team, the likes of Frank Warren, Bob Arum, you can tell when they say, "Oh, a draw," but we had Usyk won. When people are saying, "Oh, a draw," you basically know your man's been beaten.
Well, there's a load of. Most of the people had it right, except there's a load of people going, "Oh, he won all the first rounds. Maybe give one round to Usyk." No, he had the fight from the third round onwards. So 4th, 5th, 6th are definitely Fury's rounds. 3rd and 7 you can flip either way, but you've got to give one to one and one to the other. So he's only won 4 rounds, and then all right, the 11th or the 12th depends on what you like, because he did do well to recover. I would have said the one I would have given was the 11th. Which is why I had 115, 112. Because he's basically 3 rounds. But the score doesn't matter. Usyk won.
Yeah,
and he deserved to win.
All that matters.
And it was a clear win, not like it wasn't that close. Where it's like
no, I don't think it was.
The only controversial moment was the 9th round. And should it have been stopped or should it have been stopped? That's the controversy. There isn't I got cheated. No. The better man won.
I don't think it was. In the middle round, it was a close fight. But
I think, to be fair to Fury, because to be fair, he did get banged on the head very hard in the 9th. So we'll give him a bit of benefit of the doubt that when he was speaking straight after the fight, he wasn't quite all there. And he made a comment that we didn't like about the war. But let's take that out of it.
No,
because it should have been more clear if that was actually the case.
No, I don't think you.
No, but you can tell by that that's not been taken into account.
Fury had a chance there to show a bit of dignity and respect, and as far as I'm concerned, he's lost it all now. And you can't.
Well, the rest of his comments were really good. He was really respectful. He was good.
Yeah,
but the fact that I won, I don't
said,
mind the fact he said, "I think I won." Fine, but that he got it because of the war. I think that's out of order.
He's bang out of order.
And to be fair, they took it Warren took it back a bit when they had the after. They didn't completely say it, but they were like, yeah.
No, it's bang out of order.
He's just finished a fight. You can't take everything out of the.
Don't defend him, because it's bang out of order, and it shouldn't be said. And it's an absolute disgrace that he has said that. And a lot of people have picked up on it and are saying exactly the same thing, that he shouldn't be saying that. You got beat. You can
say, look, I think I won. That's fine. There's lots of boxers say that.
You didn't.
But you didn't win. We know he didn't win. But you can say that in the heat of the moment. That's fine. You shouldn't have added the second part on. That's just out of order. And all right, we can give a bit that it's the end of a fight. Your emotions running high and everything else. But there's other fighters and they don't do that.
No, it's a disgrace.
And but aside from that, Usyk won, clearly won, undisputed. Now, to better things, where do you think he stands? Because Bud Crawford messaged him out and said,
"No, Usyk's
he's in the competition number one." Okay,
Usyk is pound for pound number 1, plain and simple. He's beat the man who beat the man.
Well, that's what Bud Crawford texted.
And
but then Crawford was the first undisputed in 2 weights and three weight world champion.
I don't think, but
and in a way, he's the second to do.
Usyk's done it in 22 fights.
Mm-hmm.
22 fights. Just take that in. 22 fights.
Well, I was going to say...
Undisputed cruiserweight champion and undisputed heavyweight champion in 22 or 23 fights. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, he's done it now, so it's
what
believable.
An achievement.
No, I think you've got it. Well, I was thinking about this morning and saying, is there an argument for Usyk to be the best, in terms of achievement, the best boxer of all time? Because you can't say the greatest, because greatest is subjective.
No,
in terms of what he's achieved, because he's European champion, world champion, Olympic champion as an amateur. His amateur record is fabulous.
I think you
and then
go
as a pro,
on
in like
achievements.
22 fights, he's become undisputed cruiserweight champion, basically cleaned up. But also you got to take into account that he's gone to other people's backyards, to their country and beaten them, and the same in heavyweight. And the two best, arguably the fighters who are there's three, but say the two probably are Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, and he's beaten them all.
Okay, he's not an all-time great heavyweight.
Okay.
For one reason. He's had 6 heavyweight fights.
I don't think that's a good enough reason, because in 6 fights, he's
it
beaten the best 2 boxers there are in this generation.
The likes of, if you look at Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, George Foreman, they had 20, 30, 40, 50 heavyweight fights. That's why they're all-time great. Usyk is the greatest heavyweight of our era, but I don't think he makes the top 5 greatest heavyweights of all time. Just only because of the fact that he's only had 6 heavyweight fights. Yes, he's beaten Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua.
Well, as a heavyweight,
Daniel
but as a
Dubois.
boxer, is he a top 5 boxer of all time?
As a top 5 boxer, pound for pound, yeah, but not top 5 heavyweight.
Yeah, okay, then we can take that argument.
Because
obviously he's fought more fights at cruiserweight.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought Fury, 2 with Joshua, Dubois, Chisora, I've forgotten the first fella's name.
Chaz Witherspoon.
Yeah.
That was his hardest fight. No.
So he's only had 6 heavyweight fights. Do you know if he goes on?
But you can flip that and say, well, in 6 fights, he's fought the two that people argue are the greatest of the generation and beaten them all.
No, but your thing is you've got to go out and
one of them twice.
It's for me. It's for him to be an all-time great heavyweight. He's got to now go and beat Fury in a rematch, beat a Joseph Parker, a Deontay Wilder, a Caballero. I think 4 or 5 more fights and you could put him up there. But until that, pound for pound, one of the greatest of all times, but not one of the greatest heavyweights of all times in the top 5.
Okay, we can take that argument.
But and that is only
that was my thoughts, isn't it? As a not in a number of fights, but yeah, as a heavyweight, where do you rank him? But if you rank him as a boxer, I think he is.
Oh, as a boxer,
as a pure boxer, he's in that conversation.
He's up there with Pacquiao, Mayweather. Well, I hate saying Mayweather because I can't stand him, but of all time great fighters in that I've listed, he's up there with the Pacquiao, Mayweathers, Joe Calzaghe, Roy Jones Jr. He's in the top 3.
Yeah, but you missed that Bud Crawford and Nio in a way. Did we not? The 2 first undisputed. Because that's the other problem. That's what I was thinking. You could put him up there, but then where'd you put the other 2? Because it's like, obviously he's had the most recent fight, but when we were watching in a way, we were like, in a way, he's pound for pound number 1.
The thing is the heavyweight division is the pinnacle of boxing. Yeah. It is the pinnacle of boxing. It's the greatest division.
Yeah. In terms of greatness, but I think in terms of pure boxing skill or boxing level, you've still got Crawford's still the one who did it first, and he's 3 weights or 4 weights or whatever he is. In a way, he's 3 or 4 weights. And yeah, Usyk is fantastic, and obviously you can't go up any more weight. And he's beaten
Exactly.
really, he's beaten the super heavyweights, which is Joshua and Thingy. So it is the same as going up in 3 weights classes. So 1A, 1B, and 1C.
I'd like to say Usyk for me, number 1.
Clearly above the other 2.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he stays there. I think even if Crawford wins his next fight, Usyk's still number 1 for me.
World champion in 4 weights.
Usyk's still number 1.
Okay.
I just think, because you've got to look at as well is if you're going on like weight, Fury 6'9", 18 stone. Usyk 6'3", 15 stone. Look at the size difference he's had to overcome as well.
Yeah, I think you're allowed. That's why I said he's super middle heavy.
And Joshua, really. I mean, 6'5", 18
stone.
stone. Dubois, exactly the same. Usyk's tiny compared to these. I mean, Usyk's massive compared to me, but he's tiny compared to these fellas. And he's just superb. And like,
but if they were pound for pound, really, what it means is if they were all the same size. So you had him fighting Bud Crawford or Naira in a way. You think he beats them?
Yeah. If he can't, he finds a way to win. He's like I say, him and Loma, they're quite similar. He downloads what's going on.
But so does Crawford, and so does Inoue.
I just think...
And Inoue and Crawford both have that punch power. That I think he's got punch power, but not the same one punch
I just
power.
think Usyk can just...
I don't think he'd give up. It'd be a hell of a
switch.
fight.
And Usyk, for me, his footwork is just it's on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
It is on an absolute different level. He's a magician. I can see why he's a magician, because he's actually a magician inside the ring and outside the ring.
Before you started speaking to me, you weren't a fan of his hand.
When he was against, I've always admired Usyk because he's just unbelievable.
Well, I've been watching for a long time because I started with Loma and then
don't forget,
he
let's be honest, yeah, he won the Super 6 tournaments, but he really made a name for himself when he beat Bellew.
Yeah.
And I was supporting Bellew. Bellew lives across the water from us. And then he was fighting Joshua, and I'm a massive Joshua fan. But I admire him, his boxing a bit. And it's a bit like Loma. I'm not a massive Loma fan, but you cannot take away the genius of these guys.
Well, the thing with Loma is he's really fighting like 2 classes above his weight, just because there's nobody at that weight, or was at that weight that you could compete with. Yeah. Well, Usyk's fighting, realistically too, but like Loma's already, he's really a 126er fighting at like 140, isn't it? Or whatever, it's 135. So he's like, and it's quite a big jump up because there's nobody at his level that he's that good. And I don't think people give him credit for the fact that, like, you get all these people coming. There's people still slagging off Usyk, and you're like looking at him thinking, have you seen his record?
Yeah,
let me just tell you what he...
I think the people slagging off Usyk are diehard Fury fans.
Where'd you get the saved things? I don't know how to use this.
To me, the right man won. I made up he won.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Yeah. WBO, WBC, IBF, WBO ring in both cruiserweight and heavyweight. And in 22 fights. It's professional. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if you add the other belts, because he's got the IBO belts, right?
Yeah,
who cares? But it's still a belt.
Yeah, and he won.
And Lineal and Undisputed belt.
And he won the Super 6.
Yeah. And if you want to, and actually this might be a nice segue to the undercard fight or the co-main event, he beat Myris Bradis.
Yeah.
And if you see what Myris Bradis is at 39, Opataya was better and he deserved to win the fight. But near the end of that...
Kudos to both men, and, both men... And Opataya said he got the utmost respect for Brady. Yeah. That man is made of granite, isn't he? And arguably, Bradis, yeah, I'd say even after the Fury fight, Bradis is still Usyk's toughest fight he's ever had.
In professional ranks.
I think a lot of people were going on like, oh, are they going to take off from the first fight, which was unbelievable. I said to you, I don't think they will, because I think they're scared of each other.
Well, it started cagier. Opetaia obviously being the younger one, more energetic. Yeah. He's got fantastic footwork in and out. But it did, near at the end,
near the end. But I think, like you say, I think they were both a little bit...
They're both respectful of the opponents.
Yeah, like, hold on, I remember this last time, he can really punch, and I think they were both thinking that.
It was a fantastic fight.
Good fight.
Started a bit slowly, but yeah, the back and forth was
Do
really...
you know what, Bradis... I don't think he should retire. I think there's still big cruiserweights out there that don't get near Bradis.
I think he beats most of the others.
Yeah. And for Opetaia, he'd have learned so much from them two fights with Bradis. And you can tell that Opetaia respects him.
Oh, you give him a fantastic... See, that's how you should be at the end of a thing, isn't it? Yeah. The man is... He's my hero when I was watching Growing Up, so it's like...
Yeah, I think Opetaia now, but he wants to win
he's the man at cruiserweight, really, isn't it?
He wants to win a revisit.
It's Billum Smith and
Piccoli.
The winner. That should be a good fight.
Yeah, take the winner of that. Try and unify. He could possibly move up to heavyweight as well.
I think you've got to do the Usyk route and complete the set at Undisputed, unless the person's not fighting.
Well, he's got, was it WB?
But I think the journey, it's a bit easier to get them all together at cruiserweight, because I don't think obviously cruiserweight doesn't have the name the heavyweight does. I think that's why Usyk's gone a bit under the radar as well. But I think he can go along. He's the man at that division. You know, Bradis is probably the second at that division, obviously, but at the end of his career, and he's been the man at that division. So I think clear that up and then, step up.
Yeah, good step up.
Because this lot at the top will go then, isn't it? And then you've got a chance.
I mean, he's 28 Opetaia, isn't he? So I'd say...
He's got 2-3 years to clean up.
2 years, clean up, and then get some weight on you. Because
he does need to go up a bit in weight.
Yeah, he really does. But I think he's got the frame. I think he's got the frame. Because he's
definitely got the look in the eyes.
Yeah. Because he does look quite...
There looks like there's room to fill out there.
Yeah, he looks very, very lean.
He's lean. Whereas if you've seen him against Bradis, looks like he's...
Yeah, he does look very lean, Opetaia. And he looks quite withdrawn in the face as well.
Yeah. I think there's room for him to put on a bit of weight.
So I think when he's not fighting, he walks around at 16 stone, I reckon. But yeah, him up at heavyweight would be exciting. But no, it was an interesting fight. It wasn't a matchup like the first fight.
Carry on talking. I'm going to get there.
Really wasn't as good as the first fight, but it was intriguing.
Yeah, but I think that's it's like you said, isn't it? There was a respect there at the second fight where they both knew, this guy can box. I think the first one there's a bit less.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is I think the Saudis will have both of them back.
But I think before saying a Bradis is probably retirement time, but
No, I don't. Why?
I think against anybody else in that weight division, he wins.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Opetaia and you're offered a rematch, you wouldn't want to take it anyway, would you? He's a bloody hard night's work, Bradis, isn't he? Well, I mean, there is that other thing of, look, of Botti cruiserweight world champion 3 times, 2 times.
3 times, I think Bradis is, isn't he?
So he has got nothing to prove, so he could retire. But I think you've got to...
Well, I think he doesn't have to fight just for the sake of it. I think if he gets the right offer for somebody good, but I think, I wouldn't want to see the 3 times because I think Opetaia is... It's just going to get further because Opetaia
take away the 3 times, but I think
I think he could fight any of the others.
Yeah, and it causes him massive, massive problems.
If he wants to. But, I mean, Opetaia is the man at that division, so...
It could be... The problem he might have is he could be avoided.
Yeah.
Because people know that he's an absolute... Like I say, he is made of granite. He
We've
looks like,
said that about a few people, but I think in Breeder's case, it's actually true.
but yeah, that was a good fight.
It was really close. CompuBox is really close. Yeah,
Didn't live up
Oppenheimer
to.
won.
I'd say, I would say it didn't live up to the expectations of what everyone thought it was going to be, but it was intriguing and a good fight.
Well, I think it did. And once he hurt him on the nose, I think before that you could see that, Oppenheimer's a younger man. He's got that. You look like Breedis was a little bit. But once he got into his rhythm a bit, because you got to remember he's been out of the ring for 2 years or so, isn't he?
Well, his last fight was
So it took him a
Oppenheimer.
little bit of time, to get back in. And then once about the middle, and then when it started to swing, you could see that even Oppenheimer's like, oh, mate, he's still here. He's still got it.
He ain't going to go anywhere.
There's
ever.
a lot of those rounds really, really close. I mean, there's a few, but Oppenheimer's done, but you can see there's a few rounds where Breeders has won there.
Yeah.
And, the percentages, it's Oppenheimer was 30% and Breeders was 26.1 on power punches. And then in total punches, it's 28%, just over 28 for Oppenheimer and 22.7 for Thingy. And in landing, they ain't that far apart. I mean, Oppenheimer's just a little bit ahead in everything.
Yeah.
But there's a few rounds where they swing the other way. But
I think we'll see Oppenheimer back out in October. I think he said he has broke his nose, which will need time to recover from that.
did you see how that happened? Because I didn't see he said they'd send it's a headbutt or when they came together or something.
Yeah, when they came
rather
together,
than
apparently.
punch, because I can't see the punch in the round, but I'll have to watch it again. But
it's just Breidis is
that
just
swung it a bit in.
breaking his body down slowly. And first it was his jaw, now it's his nose. But no, I think we'll see him. Could see him in September, if he recovers Oppenheimer against the winner of Billum Smith, Bacoli.
When's that happening? That's
I haven't
soonish.
got a clue.
Yeah. Well, we'll be in one of them. We'll make a video, so we'll know that.
So yeah, and then
the next fight.
Kakachi, wow. Kakachi Cordina. Cordina was going into this as massive favourite.
Yeah. Well, we had Cordina as the
Yeah,
man,
I
didn't
think
we?
Kakachi was 6-1 with the bookies. What I will say is Kakachi caught him with a punch after the referee said stop, didn't he?
Couple, actually.
And it didn't.
The first one you could have said, but he caught him with one. Because he said at the when he was being interviewed, we both threw it. No, Cordina didn't throw any punches on there. He went, but he stopped. And then Kakachi had one, isn't it, with the right, which you could have said, because it was just so he'd started throwing it before the ref scored it. But he landed that and then landed the big shot after the thing, but he should have pulled it.
But what I will say
that
is,
changed the fight a bit.
Cordina just, he fought totally the wrong fight. Totally the wrong fight. And I don't know whether there was a lot of talk about Cordina his weight, trying to get down to the weight, whether he has to move up to lightweight now. Because, like I said, he's just sat on the ropes taking punishment. And I even said to you, I said, "Is he doing a rope dope?" And then I was like, "No, actually, he's not." But when he come out and boxed and went on the front foot, he looked good, Cordina, when he was backing Kakachi up. But then he'd go back and sit on the ropes. But it was like every punch that Kakachi threw hurt Cordina.
Well, I think in the beginning didn't. After that event, that was at round 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it just basically switched. Then Kakachi was just hurting him with a lot. He was, well, not all of them, but he was getting good punches through. And then you can see that in the comments.
And he's 35. It was his last roll of the dice. Kakachi, he's now IBF, IBO world champion. Fair play to you, mate. You took it. Well done. You beat him.
He's landed basically double the amount of punches and near enough double the amount of power punches.
And he just seems to be walking through Joe Cordina as well.
I mean, respect to Cordina for carrying on. He kept going for a long time, but he got rocked and Kakachi gave it to him.
I mean, he did well to get up from the knockdown because he landed flat on his face. But
I don't think he fully recovered. I mean, he kept going.
It was
He's
a
a
shock.
warrior, but that was a shock for things.
it was a shock.
Because it looked like Cordina was going to outbox him. The skill level was a bit
first 2
higher.
rounds, I was like, this is...
I mean, Kakachi was catching him there as well, but it looked like he was taking that just to like walking into him and then taking it and hitting him with better shots. But yeah,
it was a shock, a massive shock, and
rematch. I think there, isn't it?
I don't know whether Joe moves up straight away to lightweight. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, if the reason is the weight, then he might go up. But then lightweight, who are you gonna? It's hard as well. There's some really good boxers in.
We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Thing is that
you got Shakur, Tang.
Kakachi now though he'd be on the Saudis' radar, so he will get invited back.
Well, he said, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm only fighting in Saudi. Well, mate, why not? You're 35.
Yeah, is his chance to make.
You've got 1 or 2 fights left in your career. Go and make as much money as you can, big man.
Yeah.
Get it done.
And you got to give fair. He was entertaining.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't like a boring fight or whatever.
No.
I think he didn't go backwards either. He was going forwards.
Fair play to you. And he's not going to want to go back. And well, he's a world champion now. He can't have little fights anymore. So
yeah,
make the money. And you wouldn't bet against him, would you?
Nope.
And from what I've heard in people saying who've sparred and trained with him, and his record doesn't suggest it, he's very, very heavy-handed.
Well, I think if you the build-up, they said that, and he is heavy-handed. He just is. He doesn't respect it. It doesn't reflect in his record. But yeah, because if you look at the punches, I'm surprised because even in the first 2 rounds, he's close. It's not that far apart. Cordina landed the better ones, but it's not that far apart. And then once he switched it, it is really far apart. But in Kakashi's favour. There's a couple of rounds with Cordina's sort of got back. One of them, I think, really. But yeah, it's just good luck to him, Kakashi.
Yeah.
And then next one, heavyweight, Caballero.
My man, Caballero.
Yeah, you called it.
I said they'd do it. This guy is quite possibly the most underrated heavyweight on the planet at the moment.
I think he's really dangerous.
And people need to be watching out for him.
Sanchez actually won the first round on punches because he was, even though Caballero was coming forward, Sanchez had the bit low, the slick boxing, and he got it. But then he's just relentless. Caballero just kept coming forward, and then the second round onwards, he's just
look at Caballero's
taking it, and then just stretched it out. And Sanchez has started well and then gone down, and Caballero's just gone.
Caballero's last 2 fights have been massive, and he's took care of them. And I'd say he shouldn't have took care of them in people's eyes, but he has done. He's undefeated. He's
25-0 now, and then he's got knockouts against like 2 people you wouldn't have expected.
Exactly.
He might be on
this
point.
Guy, he's in the top 10 heavyweight of the world right now, and deserves a massive fight next. And I'd love to see him versus Joe Parker.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great fight.
And he's a Saudi regular now. And from what I heard, Sanchez and Caballero are both going back to Saudi in, is it September? They're having another Saudi season.
Well, I think to give a little bit, I think Sanchez was a little bit injured, his knee or whatever they had strapped up. And he did seem to be showing it. But that's not to take away from Caballero.
No, don't take away anything.
No, I think Caballero earned it. I mean, Sanchez, I think, was a little bit below par.
I think Caballero
was...
Like I said, I'm pretty sure from what I've heard.
And he might have won anyway. So.
Both are going to be on the next... I don't know whether... They might be on the Wembley card. But do not... This Caballero...
Well, yeah, I think if he steps up to somebody like the next level fighters, which is like Parker and co, and he wins, then he should be in the...
Mate, if he takes
compass.
if he beats Parker, the other heavyweights are going to go, I'm not going near him.
No, we're not fighting him.
I've said to you a long time ago, didn't I? Watch out for this guy. He's going to rise through the ranks and he's going to surprise a hell of a lot of people. If you put it this way, if he was fighting Joshua next, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, I think it's a close.
I would be terrified. Fight. Or if he was fighting Usyk next, I'd be terrified. This is how good I rate this is how highly I rate him. I think he's going to cause a few more upsets.
Well, I think if the big guys retire, I think if Usyk, because he's got nothing to prove, goes, whether they have the rematch or not, what do you think Fury will go as well? Do you think he's going to retire? Because they were all like rematch, but in the presser, they were like, oh, we're going to get back to the family, we'll see what we're going to do. Usyk sort of said that at the beginning, but then Fury said that afterwards. So if they walk off into the sunset, it leaves it open, then obviously there's your man AJ.
The only thing that...
Do you think he's there to clean up the belt?
The only thing that brings a rematch is money, I think. And I know that sounds bad, but I think that is the only thing that makes a rematch is money. And I think in a rematch, Usyk doesn't, but even wider. Yeah. More easily. Does Usyk go, do you know what? I'm undisputed.
He's got nothing to prove.
He doesn't have anything to prove.
And Fury, we've known, sort of runs away.
So do you drop these belts now and go, right, like, you've got 10 or 12 heavyweights that, and I'm not being funny.
Well, I've got to be fair. I hope he does, because I don't think he's got anything to prove, and he's still capable of beating him. I think if he drops it, then the heavyweight division really becomes exciting, because there's a load of fighters who can win.
My only worry with Usyk is Father Time can just catch up with you like that, and you don't know when it can catch up with you.
He's got nothing. He can't go up in weight. There's no other. He's not going to get down to like light heavyweight. So what's the point?
And I wouldn't like to see him go in against one of these young guns and get beat. I'd hate that. I think.
Well, the problem with is he had the motivation. Like you said, is 22 years he's been preparing for this fight. The man who beat the man, you've beaten him. So what else is there to do? And the other man who was in that conversation, you've already beaten twice. There's nothing to do.
No,
I'd hope he gets out the way and then says, yeah.
Yeah, I think he should retire. I think he's got enough money now. He's made it bar money. Go and spend time with your family.
And Fury, I can see one way going out of it as well. Although he's got a little bit more time on his side. But
I don't think
then
Fury's
AJ Caballel and Joseph Parker's in that conversation.
This heavyweight division now is you've got Fury, Usyk, obviously. Then you've got AJ Parker.
Well, if you take Fury and Usyk out,
take Fury and Usyk out. You've got AJ Parker,
Caballel,
Hergovich, Daniel Dubois, Caballel. You still got to throw Frank Sanchez on there. Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang, Jared Anderson. So
that'd be nice.
There's 11 heavyweights,
and then
there's other heavyweights just below them.
Did you see Matoma's? Oh, we missed Matoma's fight.
I missed that one because you made me.
Wasn't much of a fight.
But then you've got the likes of. Don't discount the likes of Dillian White, Andy Ruiz, who's fighting Jarrell Miller. They have a big win in their next fights there.
Right up in that
back up there as well. So there's a lot of.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, that both of them go out the way, and then you get rid of that circus, and then there's a load underneath that can,
There's three standout ones at the moment for me, and that's Caballel, Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're the three big
contenders,
ones.
I think.
I think if Hergovich beats Dubois
convincingly, I think he's in that conversation.
He can go up in that conversation. But for me, them three, I
think there's them four, and then if Wilder gets back to being proper Wilder, which we'll find out, or Zhang recovers himself to be there, then they're in there. But I think Zhang's too far at the end. Well, both of them are at the end of their bit as well.
Yeah,
I think they've got one last hurrah, but like...
The thing with Joseph Parker, Caballel and Joshua is
they're up at that right age of
it's what they've done is they've stepped up.
Yeah.
They've stepped up and they've put in the performances that basically people have asked for. And they've raised their game. And they're making people take notice. I think, I'd say I haven't heard the assumption now is it's Joshua at Wembley against the winner of Hrgovic, Dubois. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen and they throw Joseph Parker in that. Because there's been no talk about who Joseph Parker's fighting next.
Yeah, he got asked, but he was a bit coy as well.
Yeah. So I think they've got...
Whether they don't know, whether that's this
No,
plans,
I think they have got a plan and I don't know who it is. But like I say...
Well, I think if you get this version of Joseph Parker against this version of AJ, it's a great fight.
I think, but
this version of Joseph Parker versus Caballel is a great fight.
I think what's been good,
and
though...
you don't know which way it's going to go.
What's good with the Saudis is even if you lose, they're still inviting you back. They're like Zhang. He got beat by Parker, but look at it. He's dare I say, he's most probably in a bigger fight now than the Parker fight.
That was the fight that was going to happen, isn't it? Because they expected Wilder to beat Parker, and then it was going to be this fight.
And I think they've already said Sanchez, he's got a fight back in Saudi, so he got beat and he's back. So it is like a massive tournament the Saudi prince is doing. And you've got a few young up-and-comers that that they're going to throw. But
division, isn't it?
It's extremely hot division. We've got a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion at the top of the tree in Mr. Oleksandr Usyk, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. And it's...
Do you know what the thing is?
It's just brilliant.
I was thinking about this last night, right? Since we started the podcast, there's 3 fighters become undisputed in 2 weight divisions. Because realistically, our first fight was really...
It's all because of this podcast that Undisputed happened.
And the Saudis had a little bit to do with it.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And like I say, to have finally, after 25 years, to have an undisputed heavyweight champion, and it couldn't be a better person to have it, because just on Oleksandr Usyk, he is an absolute gentleman. I've got so much respect
for all the shenanigans and the build-up and everything. They've been class. They've just been the class part of the thing.
And I was watching him in his post-fight interview, and someone asked him about his dad. Mate, I was filling up. So I'm over the moon for him and for his country, because it seems like he's fighting for himself, but he is fighting for his country, and I think he carries.
It's like his manager said, the amount of responsibility on his shoulders. Yeah, people can say, "Oh, we come from this, that, and the other." If you actually see where he is and what's happening and stuff, is the responsibility on his shoulders to win. It's ridiculous,
mate. We're British, People think we should be supporting Fury. No, not when a man of Usyk's stature.
Most of the people he fights, we would be supporting Fury, but
I think it's because the way Usyk, his demeanour, his respect.
The thing is,
he's bloody hilarious.
Yeah, his personality is there. His English has got a lot better.
Yeah.
Although I did say to you, he's actually not bad. They just don't do it on purpose.
And do you know what? If he fought Joshua next, I'd be like that. Oh, who do I support? Who do I support? Because my fondness for him is just getting more and more and more.
But on top of that, he's a fantastic boxer. And I like I'm purist. I like the skill level of boxers, and he is one of the best of all time.
He's a magician, mate. He really, really is a magician. And if that is his last fight, it's been a pleasure watching him. It really, really has. I love his interview. His interviews just have me cracking up.
I am very feel.
He's dancing.
I was waiting for him to say that when he did. Well, how do you feel?
It's his catchphrase, isn't it?
It would have been amazing.
And I hope, fight. He's earned everything he's put his mind to. And there's not many boxers that can say that, is there? He has done everything he's wanted.
Well, he's completed the set in it. Like I said, European champion, world champion, Olympic champion in the amateurs. And 22 fights. You're undisputed cruiserweight champion and undisputed heavyweight champion. The only shame is that he can't actually do one of these big fights in his home country, which would be amazing for him to do, I think, to close off like a career. But
Yeah.
we hope sometime soon maybe he can get that. That would be like completely closed chapter. Brilliant. But like, even if now, if he retires, I was him. It's done. You've done it.
I'm in awe of him. I am genuinely in awe of him. I just think there's nothing else this man needs to prove in anything. He's just superb, and I can't praise him. I'm just thankful.
And even
he's been in my ear, and I've got to watch him because you look back and. Well, for me, I missed Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, think people like that. But I got to watch Oleksandr Usyk, and it was a masterclass.
There's a few. I think there was a time, obviously, when he had the Tyson time. That's when I started liking boxing.
Yeah,
there was a load of good.
Yeah, I was a little bit young for that.
Yes. So, mate, you're the same age as Breeders. Look what Breeders did yesterday. He's fantastic. So, don't make excuses. And then it's sort of gone a bit quieter. And then, like I said, since we've been doing this, or a bit before we've started doing this, and I think the Saudis coming have really pushed it. The undisputed thing, the best fighting the best. And even like, it's not just the best of the best, but the others like Caballero and Sanchez, it's the best of that, where you're thinking, who's the best of these two? They pushed it, and like Matchroom, Queensbury, and those have started following. There is like, it's hotted up. And if you look at the, the boxing that's coming up, it's like mouth-watering. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
People who say it hasn't proved it has. And I think we're lucky to be in a generation where we get to see there's Bud Crawford, Naya, in a way, the monster.
Do you know
Usyk, Lomachenko. It's better to be Evan Bivol as well. Canelo. There is a lot of really, and then there's upcoming ones who.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I remember when the likes of Joe Calzaghe retired and Pacquiao coming to the end of their career. I was going, oh no, who am I gonna?
Well, Mayweather went and Pacquiao went and thingy, and then there's like a bit of a dip.
There was a dip, and I was like...
There is people who have stepped up.
And like I say, the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, yeah, Terence Crawford's been I remember watching Terence Crawford against Ricky Burns, but he wasn't...
I think he's been underrated a lot, and the Spence fight is the one where everybody's gone, wait a minute.
But there was no, serious. Like you say, Canelo came along, didn't he? And he kind of...
He sort of carried it for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, him and AJ were the people who
was
carried
AJ. AJ brought it back to the stadiums and the box office.
Sexy division, and then Canelo because of his name and following.
Yeah, and now everyone's starting to.
Well, there's a few more people who box as well, and they're really, really good.
And it has come back to life now, and there's, like say, just I get excited. Usually, I'd just be looking for a couple of boxes to watch now, and every week I'm like, I need to watch that. And just a quick mention as well as there was another Ukrainian champion first thing this morning, and what was great
Barinchik has won the lightweight. So there's 2 Ukrainian lightweight world champions. So there's 3. We started the 10th of March. There was 10th of May. There was only 1.
Yeah,
and now a week later there's 3, and one is.
What was great to see is Usyk leaves the stadium, goes straight back to his hotel room,
and is watching the other fight.
Watching his friends. So
that's what I was going to say. That's how much of a gentleman he is.
So congratulations to him and to the Ukraine, 3 world champions.
I've recorded it, but I haven't watched it yet.
3 world champions.
Yeah, amazing.
Absolutely fantastic. And
all well deserved. Well, I want to watch Barinchik, but from what I've heard, it's well deserved. And Usyk was well deserved. He's
going to have big fights coming up.
That lightweight division is.
They were talking about having like the UK versus USA. Hey, what about UK versus Ukraine or USA versus Ukraine?
I think there's a call there, a shout.
You've got 3 world champions. Usyk, Loma, what's his... Brevacek.
Barinchik. Because he's beaten Navarrete. Navarrete's a good boxer.
So, no, it's fantastic. And I'm still buzzing that Usyk won.
Yeah. I can see that.
I am, honestly. I've just absolutely.
Do you know the thing is, I'm the one who's been the biggest fan for a while out of all the people we're watching it with. I'm the one who's like, yeah, Usyk's really good. Usyk's really good. I was the only one who's calm. Everybody else was having so much. This is hilarious. Everybody else is like, even the kids.
That ninth round, mate, honest to God.
And then everybody was like, yeah.
Just like,
I loved it. It was fantastic.
honest to God, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, the whole event was fantastic. And what seems to, it doesn't come across on telly, I mentioned this to you, is to be saying how crazy the crowd were going, but you can't hear them.
Well,
through the telly.
Mics and the thing. You could hear it a little bit when they were really, but everybody was saying the atmosphere.
I
think the Saudi is getting used to.
Yeah, and I think
which does take a bit of time.
Yeah,
to
and I think it was before he promoted, did the right thing. He put a party on in the English embassy, so you can have a drink in the English embassy as well, can't you? And I think I think
there's a fair bit of British fans. I think there's a fair bit of Ukrainian fans because they were singing.
Yeah, and I think it's good that they're going over. Do go over. Don't be scared to go over. It's not as, I mean, people that live in Saudi, and it's not as bad as people say it is. So,
well, it's one of the best places on earth if you
exactly.
actually look at it. Unfortunately, we couldn't go, but we will to one at some point when we get enough. When we get sponsored funding. So, like, subscribe, comment, help us in this channel so we can go watch.
I think it's great that more English fans are going over now, and more Ukrainian fans, all types of fans.
Well, the show is fantastic.
Yeah, and I think
apart from that little bit where the singer came on, which ruined it. Apart from that, the rest of it.
But I think
the trailers are unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Eddie Hearn was right. I think the first few events there is the Saudis haven't known how to react.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. They're just sitting there like, what do we do? Yeah. And then as they put more and more events on, they've realised, hold on, you can jump up and go, come on. And like I say, there's no one better than Brits at boxing fans. Because whether they're supporting because not all British, like I say, I'd say there's a lot of British fans that supporting Usyk. We know how to do boxing.
Well, I think and I think the Saudis are learning.
Yeah, and that they are learning that you scream, shout, have a great time.
They've been fantastic for it, and it's a fantastic venue, a fantastic event.
And
the undercard normally is boring. I watched I missed one because it was a 1-round knockout. So I actually missed the fave fighter of Turkey Usyk because I went to get my son and it went. But I watched the rest. All the fights were really good, even the ones that you don't know who they are. They were all really good fights.
Yeah, because he puts on 50-50 fights.
Yeah, they were all, and then obviously the main ones, like we've spoken about, were all, bit of a shock in a couple of them. But yeah, it's been. I mean, to be fair, even the Usyk thingy is because if you go on betting, and a lot of the people, Fury was the favourite. Not ours, but everybody else's. So it's a shock. But yeah, I don't think it was a shock. I think he's deserved it, earned the right to be in that. And he is, as one of the guys, I can't remember which one, because I watched all the interviews, but one of them was like, the guy he had a cheesy grin on his face as well. Like, he's like, brother, welcome to Utopia. I was like, yeah, you are at the top of the game. The pinnacle of boxing, you've completed the set.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations. Have a good rest. You deserve it. And I think that's
great, isn't it?
Great. It's a good time to be boxing fans.
Oh, it's great. It is a great time to be boxing fans.
Thank you for giving us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think. If
how
you think it was different.
Did you score it?
Yeah, and how did you guys score it? And if you think, I think we're going to look at doing some like I think we should do a pound for pound list video because they obviously are pretty contentious. So if you've got some of them, if you'd like to see that, and if you have your own, please put it in the comments and we will.
Make your pound for pound.
We will mention the best
top
ones.
5.
Top 5. Well, I think there's probably about a 6th that you could. There's about 6 or 7 that you could say are all in that conversation. I think there's 3: 1A, 1B, 1C would be Crawford, Inoue, and Usyk that are in their own class, and you can put them whichever way round you want. That just depends on what you favour.
Yeah, I mean,
and then there's the next ones: Canelo, Beterbiev, and Bivol, which isn't happening yet, but those two. And who was the other guy I've got in that list? I've forgotten somebody, haven't I now? But yeah, there's a few in there. Because you see the ring one, Spencer's still there. I mean, Spencer's a good boxer, but I think there's others that you could above him.
No, we'll do our list and we'll sort.
So let us know what you think of that, and we will see you in the next video. We hope you enjoyed the fight. We hope you enjoyed our conversation before and after. And we did call it. We said Usyk.
Well, you did. I said it was Switzerland and sat on the fence.
Well, I did change before the fight. While I was watching the warm-ups too, Usyk was going to win by knockout in the 10th. So when that 9th came along, I was like, the referee's allowed to go too long. Yep. We enjoyed it a lot. You can probably tell from our talk. Overexcitement. But, Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.